Hello, hello, hello. It is day 7, September 7th, and I'm excited to be with you. And I must confess that I've had some malfunctions trying to get this day going with yoga. So, 3 times the charm. Let's hope. Before we get going, I want to just kind of show you, for those who are in the coH of Health community where we talk about permaculture and we talk about herbalism. I just got this box from Mountain Rose Herbs from their farm to my home. And just wanted to kind of show you as my dog drinks some water, some of the goodies I got today that Mountain Rose Herbs has. They've got this cinnamon powder, cassia. There's 2 kinds of cinnamon, if I remember correctly from herbalism, and this is the cassia version. Some frankincense resin that I can burn, which will be therapeutic. It's a nice cleanser, and it smells great. Oat straw, which I love as a tea, which I think we talked about in our last week. One of our herbs was oat straw. Linden's a great heart herb. And got 2 versions of ginseng, which really is a very powerful energy chi herb. And then lemongrass, which is a favorite of many. Vitex, which is also known as chasteberry, and it's a great herb to support menopause. I can't take black coH, so I love the Vitex. Cacao nibs, which taste good and so much, and they're so healthy. Elderberry, which I think I'll make into a tincture, and I'll use for tinctures, and flax seeds. Kombu, which is great in soups, and juniper berries, which I love in teas. I love juniper berries. This is what they make gin from. When I was drinking, I used to love gin, so that's probably why I like juniper berries. Turmeric, and cumin seeds. So we got all kinds of goodies. I'm excited to dig into this. And then we got our herb crafter, Taro. So this is my 3rd round of teaching this today. So I had dandelion, and then I had thyme earlier. When the videos didn't turn out, there was some technical difficulties. So now let's pick our 3rd herb. The world. And it's Pachamama. Pachamama. So, it's a great card. So we're going to start our first pose as I read about the world, which is a major arcana in tarot. It's a very fortuitous card, and it's a card of finality. It's kind of the end or the finality, like a full moon card, which is perfect because I'm ready for this to be the last take on day 7. This is the first time I've had to do more than 1 take. So we're going to do a yin-yang class. We're going to mix it up, and we're going to even look at going into an inversion possibly. So if you have a block, that would be great to get in a strap or belt or scarf if you want to use it for a bind. But we're going to start out with somewhat of a difficult yin pose. It's a simple, difficult one. So you're going to come up into a squat and then drop your knees down. So you got your feet in, like, I can't really show you too. There you go. So you're sitting back on your heels, which is definitely a tough pose to do for our ankles and Achilles. Gives our Achilles a little stretch and definitely gives our feet a stretch. So I'm going to try to distract you from feeling this and start reading about Pachamama. Weave a rainbow that makes the world whole. Share your sacred work. Love wins. An elaborate altar lies on the grass. In the center is a hand-woven basket filled with a colorful rainbow mandala made of flowers and red poppy. Okay, I think we're ready to come out of this pose as I keep on reading. Our next yin pose is going to be hero's pose. So we're going to sit between a block or put a pillow, a firm pillow there. Or if you're able to sit right between your legs without a prop, you can go ahead and do that. California poppy, dandelion, motherwort, borage, alfalfa, red clover, and yarrow. 4 sets of stones mark the cardinal directions. The herbs from the aces anchor the corners, joined by objects representing each of the elements. Feathers for air, shells for water, a candle for fire, and crystals for earth. A monarch butterfly lands on the basket. Fulfillment and satisfaction comes after great achievement. You've accomplished so much. The garden is lush and thriving. Life is in full bloom. Pachamama, World Mother, is a sovereign deity of Inca mythology who represents all that is whole, beloved, and complete. Like you, she is a being of great power who has the ability to create life through joy and pain. The lessons you have integrated on your journey may present themselves as if new, but honor them as the herbs of the aces are honored, as old friends who come bringing new gifts. As a new monarch butterfly returns, completing the journey of migration, the cycle of life goes on. Spread joy and peace by decorating, making, and wearing art with colorful rainbows. Promote and share your work. Sign up to teach. Then at a fair, submit an article for publication. Make a mandala to mark a significant moment in your life or in your community. That's a beautiful card. Right, so we're in our hero's pose, and we can actually go a little deeper if we want to try to get off our block. If we have any knee issues, we can stay on our block. We're just going to hold here for a few more breaths. Maybe close your eyes if that works for you. You want to come back onto your forearms, you can do that. You can actually lay back if that works for your body. Just allow the breath to flow into those thighs. Bring your arms up overhead if you're lying back. Very carefully coming up if you're lying back. And let's take our legs out into what's called dragonfly in yin. So we're going to come into a straddle pose. And this is a nice place that you can bring your block. You can actually rest your forehead on your block, or you can put your forehead on the pillow as you come forward. We're going to hold this for a couple of minutes. So just allowing yourself to fold forward into this pose called dragonfly. We're not engaging our feet or our legs, again with our yin, really just letting our connected tissue hold us as best as possible. And as we hold in this pose, I'm just going to put on a little bit of music so that we can go inward. Finding your breath. few more breaths. And coming up to sitting. And our next yin pose that we're going to do is we're going to do our swan pose. I think it's called swan seal. Seal pose. Seal pose. Swan is pigeon. There you go. It's incorrect yesterday. So we're going to go into seal pose, which is also known as sphinx or cobra. So you can start out as such on your forearms. I'm going to hold this for a few minutes. And at any time you want to come higher, you can. And in seal, your feet, it's kind of like a seal's tail, I guess it is. It kind of goes out. That's how our feet can go. Glad I thought of that. Swan pigeon. Again, you can come upward. You can actually let your shoulders come up to your ears in this pose. Just allowing the breath to come in and out. Holding for a few more breaths. Again, if you're upright, if you want to take your hands in further, it helps to intensify the pose. Good, and then lowering down, just turn your head to one side. Just holding here for a few breaths. Coming onto all fours, working into some dogs and cats. Letting the breath lead the way. And coming back into center, reaching your right arm in the air and then threading the needle, threading it through the left side. And coming up to seated, onto all fours, reaching the left arm in the air, threading it through. So I'm not going to talk you through the variations as I have in the previous days with this pose. I'm going to let you find what works for you. I'm going to try to add a little more silence today. Coming back up onto all fours, taking it into some hip circles. So letting those circles circle around counterclockwise to start. Just let the head move with the circles. Maybe imagine you're circling around with the head and the hips. Changing directions. Coming back into center and just finding your downward facing dog, coming into down dog. Coming into a high push-up, dropping to your knees, dropping down, knees, chest, and chin. Coming into cobra, and then back into down dog. Reach your right leg in the air and step it up. Dropping to your back knee and just coming forward and back. Stretching your hamstring as you kind of use a little bit of juice. Generating juice, so to speak, as we move our hips and our body. It helps to awaken our joints and awaken our muscles in a different way than the yin. And once your front leg is right angled, come on the ball of the back foot, take the left hand to the inside of the leg, finding a twist. Good, and take that hand down and just step your back foot up, coming into pyramid pose. Inhale, look up, and then exhale, fold over your front leg. Beautiful. And then hands to the ground. Step back into downward facing dog. Lift the left leg in the air. And bring it through as you drop to your right knee. And coming back and forth, just kind of working the body, creating some, hopefully, hyaluronic acid in the joints, or at least awakening the joints. Probably takes those few minutes to really get into the connective tissue and the yin poses to do any real work with hyaluronic acid, but any movement in the body is helpful, especially if it doesn't create injury. And the next time, coming forward, coming on the ball of back foot, right hand to the inside of the left leg, finding the twist. Couple more breaths. And then taking the left hand to the floor, stepping the right foot up, inhaling, looking up, and then exhaling, folding over the left leg for pyramid on this side. And hands to the ground, stepping back into downward facing dog, rooting the feet down. Coming into high push-up. You can drop down knees, chest, and chin, or you can come into chaturanga. Coming up into up dog or cobra. And then back into down dog. Right foot steps up into warrior one, arms sweep up overhead. And then find your warrior two. Take your back arm underneath your front arm, take a breath in, and then just fold to the inside of the right leg. And inhale, coming up to standing. Taking that back foot, I'm just gonna step back so you can see, and then sweep it around for eagle pose. So finding your eagle. And then we're gonna take that left leg and we're gonna bring it back. See if you can come into like a warrior three pose. Holding for a few breaths. Good, and then hands to the ground. See if you can hop that right foot back, coming into down dog. Then that left leg reaches up. You step it up into warrior one. Look between the hands. Place that left foot there. Finding your warrior one. And then warrior two, finding our warrior two. And then take that back arm, that right arm underneath the left arm. Take a breath and then fold to the inside of that left leg. I'm gonna hold here for a few breaths. Coming up to standing. Once again, I'm going to step back a little bit so you can see. And then you're going to take that back leg. You're going to bring it around, finding your eagle. Garandasana. And then with care, we're going to take that right leg back. We're going to come into our warrior three version. If you can keep your arms going, you can keep them going. Shaking is good. And then take your hands to the ground. We're going to pop that left foot back if you can into down dog. And then drop to your knees. Let's come into child's pose. So we're not going to quite do a yin child's pose, but we're going to just take a breather. So sitting back into child's pose. You can engage Ujjayi breath, that Darth Vader breath if it works for you. The constriction in the back of the throat. Or just breathe naturally. Conscious breath is through awareness. So being aware of the breath and letting the breath let you know when you need to back off or when you need to pay attention. And inhaling, coming up. So, I thought we could talk about crow to headstand. And honestly, this is the third time. It's the third time I've taught this today to you, but you haven't seen the other two videos because they didn't work out. So I'm a little tired, so hopefully I can do this with grace and attention this time. So, how do you know if you should try crow to headstand? Well, first of all, you have to be able to do crow. So, crow is something that takes practice, it takes balance, and it takes some strength. If you have crow, I'm going to show you how you know if you can try crow to headstand. You want to be able to do headstand. You want to be able to do this version of headstand. How do you know if you have a solid, how do you get into headstand is the next question. So the best way to know if you get into headstand is you never want to jump into an inversion. Unless you're kicking up into handstand and you're confident in doing that. Anytime you do any kind of headstand or anything with any pressure on the head, you want to know that you have the stability to be able to do that and the strength, that you're not just pushing through, that there's the core strength to be able to do that. And the way you can, there's a few ways to know if you're there. I'm going to show you the hardest way first and then the easier way. So the hardest way is you're going to come down and you're going to bring your feet in, and then you're going to see if you can bring yourself up into headstand. And then you're going to come out of it the same way you went into it, with control. Okay? Whew, I haven't done headstand in a while. Headstand like that. So the easier way to do it is where you walk your feet in and you just start to come up. You're actually like trying to do like a crow. So that's the bare minimum if you should try to do crow to headstand. If you have that in your practice and you want to take crow into headstand, you have to start with crow. So with crow, you're going to get your knees into your upper arms. You're going to look forward. You're going to bring yourself up. And then very carefully, you're going to start to bring your head to the ground. And then I like to bring my legs up in a lazy way, like that. Now I know I can do it the hard way, so it's okay for me with this pose to do it the lazy way. So I have the ability and the stability to go up the other way. Although I kind of lost my balance a little bit today. Crow to headstand. I guess that's the next thing that you need to know. If you have the confidence to roll out of something, if you need to. And that's with handstand too. Can you cartwheel out of it, or can you even go over into a back bend? So I'm going to give you a minute to play and practice. And when you're done, come back into downward facing dog. Reach our right leg in the air. Bring that knee into the nose. Place the foot between the hand. And let's come into a lunge. Let's come into our lunge. Once again, take our hands to heart center. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, take the left elbow to the outside of the right leg. Finding our twist. And inhale back into center. We're going to take that back knee behind the right foot, coming onto our seat. Sitting up nice and tall and coming into a twist. And coming back into center. Take that right leg behind us. And let's find our pigeon pose. We're sitting up nice and tall and then folding into pigeon. And inhaling, coming up. We're going to step it back into down dog. Reach our right leg in the air, bend your knee, open your hip. If you want to flip your dog, flip your dog. Then flip it back when you're ready. Back into down dog. Lift the left leg in the air. Bring the knee into the nose as you place the foot between your hands, coming up into your lunge. This side. And then hands to heart center, inhale, lift. And then exhale, finding our prayer twist on this side. So finding the balance between our two legs. Whoops. And then inhale your hands to the floor. Bring that back knee to the outside of the left foot. Sitting up nice and tall, finding our twist to the left. So you can hug the leg or take the elbow to the outside of the right thigh. And coming back into center. We're going to find pigeon on this side. So swing that left leg back. Take a breath in. And then fold over your front leg. And then inhaling, coming back up, stepping back into downward facing dog. Not sure which side we flipped. I think we flipped the other way. So we're going to flip this way, dropping our left foot down. I think I kind of flipped backwards, but that's all right. If you have a good wheel practice, you can take that hand to the ground, coming into wheel, or not. And coming back around, gracefully as possible. Dropping to your knees. And let's come onto our backs. So crossing our ankles, coming onto our backs and grabbing a hold of our strap. Use our strap. So we're going to take the strap around our right foot and bring that leg in the air. And just bring the leg towards you, really allowing for a nice stretch in the right hamstring. And if it works for you, just close your eyes. So this is not a yin pose. So we want to activate the left leg, the left foot. We're engaging the right leg muscles also. And again, we're going to take this, as we did a couple of days ago, we're going to take this leg out to the side. We're going to try to keep our left leg down. Ideally, our left foot is pointed towards the ceiling. It doesn't always work that way, but that's ideal. And bring that leg up, and we're going to cross it over, taking a hold of the strap of the left hand, and just cross it over ever so slightly. And again, we want to engage the left foot as we do this. You can really feel it in the IT band on the right side. And coming up, slowly releasing this leg down like we did the other day. And just noticing the difference between both sides. And taking the strap around the left foot. And then just start to bring it in towards you. Engaging that right leg, maybe even flexing the foot. And then just open that leg out to the side. Rooting the right side down as you extend the left leg out. And bringing that leg up, crossing it over the midline. And as you flex that foot, you really notice the IT, iliotibial band. And bringing that leg back up, releasing the foot from the strap, slowly bringing that leg down. And then just holding here with both of your legs down for a moment. Maybe placing your hands on your hips or in the heart area. And if there's any pose that you want to do, a twist or a back bend, or any pose that would help you feel complete, please go there. If you want to grab a chair and put your feet on the chair, your legs on the chair, or a version of legs up the wall, that works. Or just find your Shavasana. And just allow yourself to come into this pose of relaxation, this pose of being without doing. When you're ready, taking your knees into your chest. Allow yourself to stay in Shavasana, of course, or if you want to close with me, sitting up, taking your hands to heart center, giving homage to Pachamama, Mother Earth, and our herbs, and the reverence for what we grow on planet Earth is it's kind of a perfect reminder of the synergistic relationship, the synergy between plants and people and the earth, and all that's provided to us. So with this, we give homage by saying together, Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for joining me on day 7. Hopefully this is the last take for today, and I don't see you again, or you don't see me again until tomorrow.